What became of the cast of The Big Bang Theory after nearly 2 decades in the spotlight? We laughed with them for years, never imagining the private battles unfolding behind the punchlines. Illness, heartbreak, exhaustion, and deeply personal struggles reshaped their lives in ways fame could never protect them from. By 2025, time has left its mark, not just on their faces, but on their stories. Jim Parsons as Sheldon Cooper. Born March 24, 1973 in Houston, Texas, Jim Parsons was 34 when he stepped into the role that would define him. Sheldon, the brilliant yet emotionally rigid physicist at the core of The Big Bang Theory, 2007. Sheldon wasn't just a character, he became the show's engine, its precision instrument, its unmistakable voice. But the clarity Sheldon projected on screen contrasted with the uncertainty Parsons carried privately. For years, he kept his sexuality hidden, worried that honesty might undo everything he had built. The secrecy quietly weighed on his relationship with Todd Spivak, forcing their love into the shadows. When Parsons publicly came out in 2012, the relief was real, but so was the scrutiny. Even after marrying Spivak in 2017, public curiosity never quite faded. 12 seasons of embodying Sheldon's exacting personality took a toll. Parsons later acknowledged that anxiety and emotional fatigue edged him toward a quiet depression. In 2019, he chose to step away from the series, a decision rooted not in ambition, but survival. Walking away protected his peace, even as it stunned fans worldwide. Now 52, Parsons works more selectively, focusing on producing and projects that allow space for his marriage and his well-being. With an estimated net worth near $80 million, success remains, but balance is the real achievement. Johnny Galecki as Leonard Hofstadter. Born April 30, 1975 in Brie, Belgium, Johnny Galecki was 32 when he became Leonard Hofstadter, the earnest experimental physicist whose vulnerability grounded the show's eccentric brilliance. Leonard was its emotional compass, imperfect, hopeful, and deeply human. Off-screen, Galecki's life proved equally complicated. His private relationship with co-star Kaley Cuoco was kept secret to preserve the show's chemistry, but hiding it created its own strain. Later relationships carried hope, yet fame made intimacy feel fragile. In 2010, his world nearly stopped. Galecki suffered temporary paralysis, later linked to Guillain-Barré syndrome, forcing production delays and confronting him with a terrifying question: would he fully recover? The slow rehabilitation left lasting emotional echoes. Even after returning to set, he carried the memory of how suddenly stability can vanish. Fatherhood brought joy and unexpected grief, reopening old wounds tied to losing his own father years earlier. By 2025, marriage and the birth of his daughter marked a quieter, more grounded chapter. Now 50, Galecki lives largely out of the spotlight in Nashville, choosing roles carefully. With an estimated net worth of around $100 million, his fortune reflects immense success and resilience forged in private battles. Kaley Cuoco as Penny. Born November 30, 1985 in Camarillo, California, Kaley Cuoco was just 22 when she became Penny, the sharp, warm-hearted outsider who balanced intellect with instinct. She was the bridge between chaos and brilliance, and the emotional spark that kept the series human. Fame came fast, and so did hardship. In 2010, a horse riding accident shattered her ankle so severely that amputation was briefly considered. Recovery was long and frightening, forcing her to confront the possibility that her career and her mobility might change forever. Her personal life unfolded just as publicly. A 2013 marriage ended painfully. Another followed, then dissolved in 2022, leaving her questioning whether lasting stability was meant for her at all. Motherhood in 2023 brought renewal and exhaustion. Balancing postpartum anxiety with filming schedules tested her limits, even as it reshaped her priorities. By 2025, at 40, Cuoco continues acting and producing while raising her daughter. With an estimated net worth of about $100 million, her success is undeniable. Yet behind it stands a woman who has endured physical trauma, public heartbreak, and relentless scrutiny, and kept moving forward anyway. Simon Helberg as Howard Warlick. Born December 9, 1980 in Los Angeles, Simon Helberg was just 27 when he took on Howard Warlick, the flamboyant aerospace engineer whose bravado masked surprising depth. His rapid-fire delivery and physical comedy became a vital rhythm within the ensemble. Helberg married Jocelyn Town in 2007, and their partnership has endured, though not without strain. The long hours and relentless production schedule left him feeling distant from home life, as if he were present everywhere else except where it mattered most. The role transformed his career, but it also demanded sacrifice. Behind Howard's loud confidence was an actor quietly navigating the cost of success, learning how to protect his family while living in the glare of global fame. Raising 2 children while anchoring a global sitcom brought a quiet guilt he could never quite articulate. For Simon Helberg, it was a constant pull between ambition and presence, applause and bedtime stories.
He faced no major illnesses, but he often spoke about something harder to diagnose: the slow, creeping fear of aging in an industry that worships youth. Comedy demands precision, timing, stamina, emotional agility. When The Big Bang Theory ended, that safety net disappeared. Auditions came and went. So did doubt. For a while, he wrestled with the worry that audiences only saw a punchline, a bowl cut, and a belt buckle, rather than an actor. By 2025, at 45, Helberg chooses his projects carefully and guards his family time even more fiercely. His estimated $55 million fortune reflects years of discipline and craft. But he carries success lightly, aware of how easily it can confine as much as it rewards. Kunal Nayyar was born April 30, 1981 in Hammersmith, West London. At 26, he stepped into the role of Rauch in The Big Bang Theory, 2007, becoming the show's gentle heart, a shy astrophysicist whose awkward sweetness resonated worldwide. Fame arrived swiftly, so did complications. He married Neha Kapoor in 2011, and while their bond remained strong, celebrity cast a long shadow. Endless shoots and global recognition created a strange isolation. Being adored by millions, he admitted, sometimes felt profoundly lonely. Their marriage endured, but not without stretches of silence and unspoken strain. When the series concluded, Nayyar found himself untethered. Despite wealth and visibility, he described a hollow space opening up inside him. Criticism about stereotypes, accents, and cultural cliches weighed heavily. Depression followed. Meditation, writing, and a painful reassessment of identity became his lifeline. By 2025, at 44, he continues working, still evolving, still healing. His estimated $45 million net worth marks remarkable success, but the deeper triumph is quieter, rediscovering purpose beyond applause. Mayim Bialik, born December 12, 1975 in San Diego, was 35 when she joined The Big Bang Theory in 2010 as Amy Farrah Fowler. The role revived her career and deepened the show's emotional core. But off-screen, she was rebuilding. Her decade-long marriage to Michael Stone ended in 2013, a divorce she described as the most painful rupture of her life. Raising 2 sons alone left her drained and uncertain, constantly weighing sacrifice against stability. She shielded her children as best she could, though the strain lingered. public scrutiny intensified matters. Her parenting philosophy and comments on vaccines drew fierce criticism, pulling her into controversies she never sought. Earlier years spent finishing her PhD on a modest lecturer's salary had already tested her resilience. Doubt cut deep. By 2025, at 49, she stands steady, acting, writing, hosting, with an estimated $20 million net worth. Yet her greatest achievement isn't financial. It's learning, after years of carrying everyone else, to choose herself. Melissa Rauch, born June 23, 1980, in Marlborough Township, New Jersey, was 29 when she debuted as Melissa Rostenkowski in 2009. Small in stature, but explosive in presence, her character became one of the show's sharpest comedic forces. Off-screen, her battles were quieter, but no less seismic. Before welcoming 2 children with her husband, Winston Rauch, she endured multiple miscarriages, losses she later described as silent earthquakes. The treatments, the waiting, the fragile hope, it left lasting scars. She also faced relentless scrutiny about her height and voice. Casting rejections piled up. Before the sitcom changed everything, she stood in unemployment lines fighting back tears, convincing herself she still belonged. By 2025, at 45, she shines in new chapters, including her role in Night Court. With an estimated $20 million net worth, her success reflects endurance as much as talent, a woman who survived a system that once tried to sideline her. Finally, Bob Newhart, born September 5, 1929, in Oak Park, Illinois, joined the series in 2013 at 84 as Professor Proton, Sheldon's childhood hero brought tenderly to life. His presence added warmth and legacy to the later seasons. Behind that gentle humor was a lifetime of resilience. His 60-year marriage to Ginny Newhart was a rare Hollywood love story. When she passed away in 2023, the loss hollowed him. In his final year, he moved more quietly through the world, learning how to exist without his lifelong partner. Decades earlier, a severe smoking addiction had led to laryngeal cancer in 1985, threatening his voice, the very instrument of his career. He survived that battle, along with professional slumps and public setbacks, emerging each time with understated grace. His life stood as proof that longevity in Hollywood isn't built on perfection, but persistence.
While classic hits like The Bob Newhart Show and Newhart cemented his place in television history, later series such as Bob 1992 and George and Leo 1997 faltered in full public view. Failure weighed on him more than he ever let on. In an industry that moves on quickly, he feared becoming yesterday's punchline. Then came Professor Proton on The Big Bang Theory, and at 84, he earned his first Emmy, a quiet triumph, decades in the making. Bob Newhart passed away on July 18, 2024, at 94 after a brief illness, closing the chapter on an extraordinary life. With an estimated $65 million fortune built from stand-up stages and television sets, his legacy was never about money. He was laid to rest beside his beloved wife, remembered for his deadpan precision, gentle decency, and a style of comedy that softened the world around him. Carol Ann Susi as Mrs. Wolowitz. Born February 2, 1952 in Brooklyn, New York, she was 57 when she gave life through voice alone to Debbie Wolowitz in 2007. Never seen on screen, her booming Brooklyn presence became one of the show's most unforgettable signatures. She proved a character didn't need a face to command a room. Off-camera, her journey was far less loud. She never married, never had children, and devoted herself entirely to her craft. Years were spent hopping between guest roles, voicing video games, performing in intimate theaters, taking whatever work kept the lights on. Recognition always felt just beyond reach. As opportunity slowed, solitude settled in. Then cancer struck, diagnosed only a week before her death. She chose privacy over pity, telling almost no one. Friends say she kept joking, kept hoping to return to the studio. She never did. On November 11, 2014, at 62, she passed away before treatment could begin, laid to rest at St. Charles Cemetery in East Farmingdale, New York. Her estimated $1 million estate reflected a lifetime of modest paychecks and overlooked brilliance. But her voice remains immortal. Kevin Sussman as Stuart Bloom. Born December 4, 1970 in New York City, he was 39 when he began playing Stuart Bloom in 2009, the fragile, soft-spoken comic book store owner who somehow endured every setback. Fans loved Stuart's vulnerability. Few realized how closely it mirrored Kevin's own life. His marriage to Alessandra Young, which began in 2006, ended painfully after 11 years. The divorce left him emotionally depleted, with no children and a life split by legal strain. Depression followed, and therapy became a lifeline. Earlier, after Ugly Betty, he had nearly abandoned acting entirely, convinced Hollywood had no place for him. In 2014, a severe bicycle accident shattered his leg, forcing him away from filming and stirring fears that the show and his role might continue without him. He recovered, but the insecurity lingered. Slowly, he rebuilt, writing pilots, taking smaller roles, reshaping both career and confidence piece by piece. By 2025, at 55, he has remarried and continues working steadily, including appearances in Better Call Saul and new television projects. His estimated $3 million net worth reflects persistence more than fame, a testament to survival. Christine Baranski as Beverly Hofstadter. Born May 2, 1952 in Buffalo, New York, she was 57 when she joined the series in 2009 as Leonard's razor-sharp psychologist mother. Her icy intellect sliced through scenes, her clinical detachment masking something almost tender beneath. While portraying emotional precision on screen, Christine endured profound loss off it. Her husband of more than 30 years, actor Matthew Cowles, died suddenly of heart failure in 2014. The quiet that followed, she later admitted, was suffocating. No award or applause could fill the empty chair at home. Widowhood forced a painful recalibration. As mother to 2 grown daughters, she became the emotional anchor while navigating her own grief. The years that followed were marked not by spectacle, but resilience. In 2025, at 73, she continues balancing stage and television work while living privately in Connecticut. With an estimated $8 million net worth, she often suggests that endurance, not accolades, is her truest achievement. Laurie Metcalf as Mary Cooper. Born June 16, 1955 in Illinois, she was 57 when she stepped into the role of Mary Cooper in 2007, Sheldon's devout, sharp-tongued, fiercely loving mother. Her performance grounded the chaos, revealing how faith and fear shape even the brightest minds. However, her personal life carried deeper fractures. Her first marriage to Jeff Perry ended amid the strain of youth, ambition, and parenthood, leaving her a single mother in the early 90s. Later, her marriage to Matt Roth dissolved in 2014 after years of effort to hold things together. Twice divorced and raising 4 children, Laurie balanced exhaustion with determination. Acting became an outlet for emotions too heavy to voice. Now 70, she continues working steadily, learning to live alongside the past without being consumed by it. With an estimated $14 million earned across decades of film and television, she stands as proof that even the strongest performers bear invisible scars. John Ross Bowie, born May 30, 1971 in New York City, was 39 when he joined the series in 2009 as Barry Kripke, the mischievous physicist whose speech impediment and sharp intellect made him a constant thorn in Sheldon and Leonard's side. His character brought a volatile edge to the show, a chaotic rival who steered the comedy into darker, weirder territory. Kripke wasn't just a side character, he was the unpredictable spark. But off-camera, John Ross Bowie was fighting battles far more serious than anything written in a script. Behind the swagger and smirk, his life was quietly unraveling. His marriage to comedian Jaime Denbo endured years of strain as alcohol slowly chipped away at trust. He later admitted there were nights he came home hollowed out, unable to be present for the woman who stood by him. The fear of losing his family finally forced him to confront what he had been avoiding. Rehab wasn't a career reset, it was survival. Depression had shadowed him long before fame. Through his 30s, he carried a suffocating fear of failure, leaning on medication just to silence the relentless noise in his head. Some mornings felt like dragging himself through concrete. Some nights ended staring at the ceiling, wondering if normal was a feeling other people were born with. Healing didn't arrive in a triumphant moment. It came slowly, through therapy, brutal honesty, and the painful rebuilding of a man who wasn't sure he deserved happiness. In 2025, at 54, John continues to write and perform, blending humor with hard-earned vulnerability to reach others battling addiction and mental illness. With an estimated net worth of $3 million, his success isn't measured in fame, but in sobriety, resilience, and a family that refused to let him disappear. Wil Wheaton as himself. Born July 29, 1972 in Burbank, California, Wil Wheaton stepped into The Big Bang Theory in 2009 at age 37, playing a heightened version of himself. His recurring role, sometimes Sheldon's nemesis, sometimes his unlikely ally, allowed him to rewrite his public image with humor instead of hurt. But long before the laughs, his childhood left deep scars. Pushed into acting by parents who prioritized fame over emotional safety, Wil carried trauma that followed him into adulthood. By 1990, anxiety and depression had spiraled into a near-suicidal crisis. Even years later, he admitted the past still sits beside him at night, whispering old fears into new spaces. Marriage to Ann Prince became both anchor and mirror. She stood beside him through relapse, recovery, and the long, uneven path toward stability. He adopted her 2 sons, building the family he once feared he'd never deserve. Yet the ghosts lingered: teen stardom, rejection from segments of the Star Trek The Next Generation fandom, public ridicule, untreated PTSD. Panic attacks still struck behind closed doors. Sobriety brought clarity, but the battle with trauma never fully disappears. Now 53, Wil has stepped back from on-screen acting, focusing instead on writing, podcasting, and outspoken mental health advocacy. His estimated net worth of $1 million reflects decades of steady work and a life reclaimed on his own terms. Laura Spencer as Emily Sweeney. Born May 8, 1986 in Oklahoma City, Laura Spencer joined The Big Bang Theory in 2014 at 28 as Emily Sweeney, Raj's darkly witty, quietly unsettling girlfriend. Her eerie calm and razor-sharp delivery gave the show a psychological twist it had never quite explored. Emily became the mirror reflecting Raj's deepest insecurities about love and vulnerability. Off-screen, Laura's journey was less dramatic, but no less challenging. After the viral breakout of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, she ran headfirst into Hollywood's short memory. The industry seemed eager to label her the quirky redhead and move on. Even with appearances on Bones and various indie projects, the pressure to reinvent herself lingered.
Late nights were spent writing scripts, searching for creative control in an industry that rarely promises permanence. In 2025, at 39, Laura continues building a steady career behind the camera, developing stories that allow her to exist beyond supporting roles. With an estimated net worth of $1 million, her success has been deliberate, patient, and self-defined. Time hasn't been gentle with the cast we once saw as untouchable geniuses. Behind the punchlines were private wars, addiction, trauma, fear, reinvention. How did a sitcom about brilliant minds quietly conceal so many fragile hearts? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're ready for more shocking then and now transformations, stay with us. The next story cuts even deeper.